That's a different bit.
It makes it easier.
Whoa, we're here. Wee-hee.
Hello.
Oh, Chris, thank you. Thank you for bearing with me. This is something that I do say to most people on the live stream, that really it's just a lot of people out there just bearing with me.
Well, do you know what? It's a pleasure to be here, actually. I've never done anything like this before, so
Yeah.
you can take my interview virginity, if you call it that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. That's
Not sure how you feel about that one.
You know what? I'll take it as an accolade. You can put it on my Wikipedia.
I'm going to edit that when we get home.
Chris ID's interview podcast virginity. Well, look, man, we've got a couple of nice European beers to celebrate.
What have you got there? What have you got over there?
I've got an Augustiner, which is a Bavarian beer, very popular in Berlin. Oh yeah. And, you know, to celebrate us sleepwalking into the apocalypse with Brexit.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one thing you can really do is just ignore it.
Well, yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? Take to the streets? No one will listen to us.
No, but you know, like, it's just getting ridiculous. Like, I don't even open my news apps on my phone anymore, just because I just can't be bothered with it. It's just so far gone.
Yeah, but I mean, we're people that will be directly affected by it. Like, what the fuck's going to happen in terms of like working visas or what? Like, are agencies talking about it?
Do you know, how are we going to know that if they don't know that? That's kind of what I've resigned myself off to. I'm never going to know because they won't know. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, I was looking at it the other day. Because I might be getting there might be a possibility of me getting my dog, which is currently in Berlin, back. And they're like, oh yeah, in the event of a no-deal Brexit, we basically no fucking clue what will happen with getting pets.
You're just going to have to smuggle him.
Yeah.
You can just smuggle, what, is it a big dog?
No, I could smuggle her easily.
A few holes in the suitcase. You know.
She's got a mouth on her though.
See, there's your problem.
Fill her full of Xanax. She might be okay.
Well, yeah.
She's a SoundCloud rapper in the making.
Just a mumble dog.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be the new thing. I wanted to... obviously, it's a real mission getting we're going off on tangents.
We are. We've only just begun. So
getting a dog from... Berlin in the car is a real pain in the ass because it's like a 15-hour drive. Yeah. But on Lufthansa, you can take a dog in the cabin with you as long as it weighs under 9 kilos.
Right.
Now, my dog is about 12 kilos, but I reckon...
Some doggy dieting, maybe.
We put her on like a harsh UFC fighter style weight cut.
Get some Atkins for dogs, do you know what I mean? I think the dog diet is pretty much Atkins anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
All they do is eat meat.
And they'll get her on the scales at the airport. She's just absolutely ripped. Oh, she's about to pass out from dehydration. Then by the time she gets on the plane, she's blown up again.
Just flying home for a title fight, do you know?
Down the local dog park, yeah. They'd be fine. Oh, so you managed to get the train up from Brighton without event.
Do you know what? It was a very smooth journey. I came back from a gig on Sunday from Leeds, and the train we were on from Leeds to Brighton, to Leeds to London broke down. So I had to change trains. Then I got to Brighton, and it was, I could go as far as Redhill.
Great.
Then I was meant to get on a bus to where was it? Gatwick Airport, and then another train home. And I just thought, you know what? This is just ridiculous. It's not what you need on a Sunday. You know, I like my Sunday roast.
It's the Lord's Day. Yeah. Come on.
You know, I like my Sunday roast. Yeah. I have to get home. And
down at the Long Man.
I missed it.
Oh, that's a shame.
I was, furious.
You still live near that pub?
I live over the road from that pub. I know it's dangerous.
It's a choice. That is a decent roast.
Pretty much every Sunday I'm in there.
Yeah. I went there with my missus on our third date.
Oh, excellent choice. How did you find the pub when you walked in? Because there's animals' heads on the walls, and that's
fine for me.
It's pretty like local, should we say?
Yes, yeah. It's quite sort of yokely. I didn't. I mean, I had an assumption that she at the time, would be generally fine with that sort of thing. So I made a calculated decision that would be an okay venue to take her for a roast. And she was like, "Oh wow, look at this is really cool."
Yeah, there's like spears on the wall and everything. Yeah. It's do you know, I grew up in that area, and it's been there ever since I've been born. My mum and dad used to drink there.
Really?
Yeah, and and my granddad used to drink in there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, for me, it's a bit of a thing. Do you know what I mean? Because 2 generations of my family, and I'm the only one left in that area.
Tear it down, build an Aldi on it.
Yeah, that's what they're waiting for. Some Tesco Express. Do you know what I mean? Just
Another one.
really set the neighbourhood off. Yeah.
There'll be a Sainsbury's local on the other side of the road. It's like, no, we need a Tesco Express here.
Definitely. Do you know? Because people need choice, right? You know. Yeah. Luckily, I don't think that's going to happen because I think it's a listed building now. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's good. They're going to. Well, there was I signed a Change.org petition about the Great Eastern.
You really made a difference there.
Yeah, man. You ain't never signed one of those things. I mean,
I sign them regularly.
Poverty's just wiped out since Change.org.
Literally, a little tick in a box. World's changed.
Has anything ever been changed by petition? Like, ever?
Do you know, because you get an email back, don't you, if you get enough signatures? And I think the only time we get is like, here's what we talked about it in Parliament.
Yeah.
And then it's this literal, like, annotated like discussion. You get the whole thing. You're like, I'm not reading 7 pages of that. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to sign it because I feel like it's affected by that issue a bit, but and it never goes anywhere, does it?
Do you think you're signing it for the wrong reasons if you refuse to take any interest in the outcome?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think the moral drive is there at the time, but,
yeah, sure.
But when you're just getting an annotated like load of rubbish back of why they're not going to do anything, it's like, do you know what?
Yeah, it's for the social currency of sharing it on Facebook. Look, guys, this is an important cause. We all need to get behind you. What cause is it? I don't know, but look, we've got to get behind you.
Do you know that's such a thing now? So many times people like share an article and they say, "Oh my god, this in their like status," and then you read through the article and it completely says the opposite. You're like, did you even read the article?
No.
And people just share now. They just read the top line.
Yeah.
And they think, oh yeah, I'll share that, and they don't bother reading the rest of it.
It's an absolute disaster because then you've got a whole load of people that are all getting their news just from headlines, and then the media are basically like mainstream media's just on its arse, like newspapers and all of that. They're just laying people off all over the place. So it's like, right, how can we get more clicks, more ad revenue, more sensationalist clickbait headlines, and then it's just this spiraling thing that's.
So it's their fault because I suppose they're just creating this massive. Headline just to get clicks. It's got nothing to do with the article, basically. Yeah. It's messed.
I know, and then people wonder why we're living in a more polarised times.
Donald Trump is the leader of the free world.
Yeah, quite. I mean, this is what happens when everyone gets their news from bloody clickbait headlines.
Do you know the problem is now as well, though? People can just call fake news. Even if it's the truth, you can say, well, that's rubbish, and like that's enough now. If you're a politician, you can just completely deny something and just call it fake news and get away with it. Yeah, it's
like just adding an eye-rolling GIF to a sort of to an argument online or something like, oh, well, you've won the argument, have you now?
I think that's where we'll be in Parliament. Like, it's just an emoji buttons and just people expressing their views. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just the leader of the opposition replies with a little.
Amazing.
Oh God. What do you think about? I mean, I'm going a little bit out of date. The news cycle now is about like 12 hours. But old Corbyn calling Theresa May a stupid woman, and
I don't think he said that though, did he?
Oh, it was
I
so
think he said
funny.
stupid people.
He said stupid people. Who's ever said stupid people?
Do you know what I like though? He backed it up. He did that video afterwards and was like, well, they are stupid people, and like made his case. And I kind of respect that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, at least he owned it for one time as a politician. At least he owned it. Do you know what I mean? I don't really. I struggle to vote for anyone, to be honest, in these times.
Yes, it's the disenfranchised centre.
Well, yeah, that's what they say.
No party that truly represents us.
No, because I've not got an offshore account. So, so you only matter if you've got one of those, I think.
Yeah, I've decided to set up camp in the smug centre, whereby you just roll your eyes at both sides. Oh, they've done what? Oh, they've done what? Oh, this loopy right wing. Oh, these ridiculous lefties.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to take a position on anything? No.
But that's even worse, though.
Do you think it is? That's worse.
Do you know what? If you haven't got a position to take, because the choices are so dismal, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's why people take that route, isn't it? And to be honest, if they called a general election now, I don't think I'd just probably be like, I can't be bothered.
I'd vote for Donald Trump in the UK elections. I'd write it on the thing, make Britain great again.
I think I'd go for Lord Buckethead.
Yeah.
He followed me on Twitter. Literally one of the most proudest days of my life.
Why? What did you have a back and forth? Was there?
I think I liked a couple of his tweets.
Yeah.
And he's just probably just followed me as part of his bot that does his Twitter or something. But
that'll do, man.
It was still a special moment for me.
It's like when you send tunes out on one of those PR things that gets your tunes to DJs, and you get a reply that says downloading for Noisier. I go, yeah, support from Noisier. It basically means that Posse has downloaded it and it goes in a huge folder somewhere.
But don't you have to comment to download on those, don't you?
Yeah, so that's why there's the comment of their sort of assistant just comments downloading for them to listen
Yeah,
to.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So it's just in regards to any of that, you have to comment. So some people.
Yeah, so
listen
I
to
put it on my PR sheet that Noisia are just all over it.
Why
you
not?
know, they're playing it at their kids' bar mitzvahs. They're playing it to their hairdressers. They're playing it to people on the bus, just on their phones.
Obviously.
Of course, why wouldn't they? Yeah, listen to this guy's mix down.
So
that's how they
crazy.
talk.
Yeah, I mean,
Thick.
they do need a few tips on mix downs, Noisia, I think.
Yeah, a little
they
bit.
could be a little bit better. You know.
They're no, they haven't quite reached the elevated heights of Meow Meow by High Rankin yet.
Do you know
That yo-yo bass.
that did really hit the spot, that one.
Hey, that was right. So this is I've spoken about this a few times. Like
Okay.
that summer, the summer of Meow Meow. Yeah, we all remember it.
I remember the smell of it well.
That was a great time to be a DJ, man. But that must have been a good time to be an MC.
Yes and no. I mean, everyone was up for it because they're on this crazy meow stuff. But
Yeah.
the smell.
It was an issue.
Yeah, it really was. Like, it was okay if you were playing early,
Right.
but if you were playing last, by the time people were in the club and started sweating, it was, you could really smell that stuff. Yeah, man. It's because it smelled like fish. Like, and you walked into
Like
this
cats
club and it
pissing
actually
fish.
stunk. And you're like, what's this thing? And it took me for a while to cotton on. Like, all these kids are,
Yeah.
they're just absolutely.
And then if you
faced
got
on-
paid in cash, the cash would stink.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I remember going
Because
to
the promoters up there just caning the meow.
And it's all come off people who've given it in the club, and they've all been caning the meow. And I remember going through Newcastle Airport once with like about 400 quid in my pocket. I was just like, this is...
Did you smell it from your pocket?
Yeah. And then I had to take everything out to go through the machine, and it was just like, people were like, oh, what is that? Like, I mean, it's the last thing you're expecting is it to be money that smells. But people were super confused.
Yeah.
Because it was a little bit like, if you've dried some clothes but not dried them properly.
Yeah, that
and
damp smell.
Yeah,
yes.
and you kind of like, oh no, that smells all right. But then when you wear them and you start to like perspire a little bit, then it all just like leaps out.
Yeah, and your mate's like, bruv, like, do you smell a bit? And you're like, oh, I didn't have time to dry my top, man.
But people were trying to get it
was that-
into... just ignore. He's just looking for attention. People were trying to get it into like weird things, like just mixing it into drinks, putting it in cigarettes, sandwiches, just everywhere.
See, that was a bit after my sort of going out time. So I never kind of experienced that wave. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I saw it from the stage, but yeah, I'd kind of chilled out by then.
When was it? 2010? Something like that?
Yeah, no, this maybe a bit early. I remember
2009?
the time that it stunk the most was at Digital in Brighton.
Yeah.
And I was just
and
like,
life.
Yes, that it was. You could open it and just walk past on the street. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think there was a fishmonger's next door. Open up the road. Like,
But it was kids that would never normally do drugs.
really?
Because it was legal, like particularly girls.
Right.
There were like the sort of young, like party girls that would go to sort of like cheesy sort of pop kind of dance sort of nights.
Shoosh.
Shush,
Like
yeah.
Shoosh with silver
Or
walls.
the sort of your vodka rev crowd.
Oh, yeah. My fave type.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Your ideal women. But it was that lot would getting stuck into it, and they were just like just chewing their faces off, not really understanding because they've never done drugs before.
Do you think because it was legal, they thought
Yeah.
it was okay and it wasn't
Yeah.
going to hurt you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they
People
should
were like,
have. They should have their world ruined.
yeah. Hey, it's legal and it's really cheap.
It's
Like,
really bad for you too.
but-
We should
God.
put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah, it was terrible. Well, hey, I made a song about it. I said do real drugs instead.
It's not a bad message.
Yeah. Hey, I've got hopefully the woman who runs The Loop. Have you heard of them?
Yes, I have, and me and other people in the scene, as you know, are massissive supporters of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, end of March, she'll be coming on.
Amazing! I'd love
That'd
to
be
watch.
great conversation.
That will be probably a lot more interesting than me.
I don't know. It depends what you're into.
I wonder if you can have candid chats about meow with her.
Why? I would imagine it's got to be as candid as you can. There was another guy. There's a guy that works with them who's like a chemist. He was on this morning talking. They had a mother of a kid that had died from taking some bad shit basically,
Uh-huh.
and he was there as well, and they were sort of discussing the idea of the testing and how important it is, because obviously you're never going to stop people from doing it. I mean, the more illicit you make it, the lower the quality tends to
Of course.
be.
And how long has it been around? And they've not successfully done anything about it yet.
But they had the war on drugs.
Exactly. And that went really well.
Yeah.
I think it's time to just sort of harm reduction, They do it for alcohol. And,
Yeah.
and it's just another substance. Alcohol is as much of a substance as any of these other drugs that are prominent in dance music. And I just think there needs to be a new, fresh approach. Some with a bit of knowledge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the other current approach isn't working, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, clearly.
So,
What do you reckon? Full scale legalization? Would you be in favour?
I don't know. You see, I mean, I've definitely when we play gigs in Portugal, and we've definitely been speaking to local people about it, and there is downsides to that as well.
So they've fully decriminalised everything.
Everything, and what they do as well is they put a lot of the money that is made from certain legal drugs or the saving of fighting against, battling drugs into help for addicts and stuff. And I think that is something. That's definitely a way to go, a branch to look down. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't keep going like we are. It's not doing anything.
No, it's not a long-term solution by any stretch of the imagination. No. They do. Their system is below a certain amount, like a personal amount. If you get caught, you. I feel like
you get a little finger wag, like naughty.
You get a little finger wag and a very small fine.
Yeah.
Or you get the opportunity to go to rehab for free.
See, there you go.
And that's where a lot of the money gets funneled into.
Mm-hmm.
And they have they found that use initially went up, but long-term addiction has come right down.
Right, yeah. Because, I mean, I've definitely got friends that I think if that was employed, like they're struggling and they just need that push to get some help,
Yeah.
And I think that's the most positive thing they can do is just have that help offered to them. Because I think over here you have to find that help yourself. I mean, my friends that have gone through that have had to find that themselves, and that was they found that very difficult. First, you've got to admit that they had a problem.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got to put it out there and go and sit with other people that are suffering too and tell your story, and that's scary,
Yeah.
But I've seen, one of my good friends has been through it recently, and he's, I think, what is it now? He's 6 months sober now, and his life's changed, man. He's a different person, and he's not a different person, but he's just happy.
Yeah.
And to see that, and and that's why perhaps my view differs on it from someone a bit older, because I've seen what that positive change can make if you just help people, rather than just criminalise them.
Well, yeah, I think there's a deep lack of understanding from that more older world. I guess the more conservative viewpoint that is to just, if you can shut as much of it down as possible, that will
just ignore it and enjoy your garden in Hampshire. That's
I mean, I wonder how much, because that's the thing. It's like, there'll be people running riot in the streets and stuff if you legalise drugs. It'll be like the sort of reefer madness propaganda films.
Exactly the same.
There'll be. I mean, when they legalised weed in various different states in America, I think they initially found things like violent crime went down.
Yes.
Road traffic accidents went down, but then they went up. But then there's the school of thought that the reason that it went up is because there's been a lot more people coming to those states.
Yeah, and also their tax revenue went up.
Oh yes,
enormously. I think when we toured Denver a while ago, a few years ago, and they'd recently legalised it then, and I think they paid off their citywide deficit within less than a year. Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, don't quote me on that, but they definitely were like
fake news.
The tax.
Just hit share.
Just hit share. Don't read the story. Just share it.
Just share.
Yeah, doesn't matter. I heard it here first, kids. And I just see that as a positive. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, people do it anyway. Like whether you can make money off it now. The government can make billions of pounds off it now.
Yeah.
I think, aren't we like a massive exporter of medical marijuana anyway?
Supposedly, yeah. I've heard stories. I think Jakes was telling me that it was Theresa May's husband.
Yes,
in fact, is responsible for a huge amount.
He's tied up in G4S, right?
Yes, it was.
Was a
that's
shareholder.
the rumor or something. Although I did Google that a while ago, and they may have been I don't know.
Perhaps I'm a victim of fake news.
Maybe you are. Yeah, there are those fake news checking websites, but then it's like, well, who's got the agenda on those?
Did you hear about the Mail are trying to sue a company because now there's like the browser that audits news sites and just like doesn't show it if it's not factual, and so half of their stories on this browser just don't appear.
Yeah, no, we had a warning come up saying like this news site is known for having inaccurate stories and stuff. I mean? So funny.
Karma, finally.
Yeah, man, I don't know, like, what's a reasonable news source to go to? Like, The Guardian and The Independent are basically just the left-wing Daily Mail now.
This is the thing, I do The Guardian, and I can do the news stuff, the opinion stuff, I'm just like,
mate,
it's hilarious.
like, come on.
It's first world problems. It's like, how can I function with only being able to make 2 carrot cakes for my dinner party? It's just that kind of stuff. I'm
man.
I don't care. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Or you've got some like loopy champagne socialist going, we should 100% inheritance tax. Like, you insane?
Yeah, I'm sure every parent would love that. Wouldn't
brilliant.
They?
Yeah,
I've worked all my
out.
life to give my children a little bit. Just have it all.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah, just turf your children out on the street as soon as like. I know, just barking mad. Yeah, I don't know what's a reasonable source, but people seem to be turning to more independent things now. Like, people will turn to YouTubers, or people will turn to podcasts, or people will turn to this. Like, people that are, but it's difficult. Like, if you take a very serious subject, or if you take like a company that needs to be investigated, or a political campaign that needs to be investigated, or something, it's going to take an enormous amount of work, which is going to take an enormous amount of money to like keep whoever's doing it afloat.
Yeah.
So for someone independent to do it, obviously takes, they have to have their revenue come from somewhere.
Yeah.
But it seems to be like there are some reasonable people, out there that are doing that on things like Patreon or from YouTube revenue and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been getting into Patreon recently. It's really good.
Yeah, and it's like, well, whose opinion do you trust? Like, it seems like the large scale media corporations, like, I don't know, maybe trust them. I don't know.
Well, I think that there's a fundamental problem for me, and I think who actually said it was Denzel Washington. It was a really interview with this interview, and I think the news outlet that she repped had said something not correct about him in the past, and he turned around and said something to her, and it really stuck with me. It was, people aren't worried about being right anymore, journalism and media, and they're not worried about being right, they're worried about being first. And that's the problem. Like, they want to get that story out first, so they break it and they get all the clicks and views and stuff on it, and then they're not going through and actually physically fact checking it properly.
That's it. It's how can we break this story in the most sensationalist way possible?
Exactly.
That is going to yield the most retweets. It's going to yield the this whole routine with the kids in the MAGA hats. Do you see all of this?
I've not seen this.
Oh man, I mean, it's such a long story. That's not worth going into. But the initial outcry was like, hordes of kids in MAGA hats surround Native American
yes, I have seen that. Yes, and
they
they thought the kid was smirking.
I mean, he was smirking, but like, is that a crime?
Well, I mean, his response was, I read his response, and he said he was being respectful or something.
It was just a whole strange thing. Like, they're basically the sort of the media got this narrative out that like the kids are surrounded this guy, and there was they'd sort of interrupted a protest and all this sort of stuff, and they were kind of being threatening towards him. And then a 2-hour-long live stream of everything that happened came out, and it was like
completely not that.
No, the kids are all waiting for a bus, and I mean, like,
and he started dancing in their face with he was playing an instrument, right?
Yeah, he was banging a drum and singing a song, and they were a bit confused. But I mean, they're 16-year-old kids, like they were from some Catholic church, and they'd been at a sort of pro-life rally. I mean,
well, there you go.
I mean, they're a fun
two worlds
bunch.
Colliding, basically, really, isn't it?
But then there'd been this other group that had been sort of protesting and shouting loads of homophobic stuff at the kids.
Right.
And so then they were sort of shouting stuff back, and then the Native
So
American guy goes in between. There was just this really weird clusterfuck of like all these different things kind of colliding.
It's like an antisocial three-way.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's like, okay, MAGA hats versus homophobes. What's going on?
Just let's have a party, guys.
It's the big fight live. Hey, can't we all just get along? But yeah, and then it's like you've got like really high profile people on Twitter like trying to dox the kids online. It's like 16-year-old kids. I mean, even if the 16-year-old kids are being dicks, like 16-year-old kids are dicks a lot.
But the fact is, they didn't wait to see that full stream.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. Like I say, everyone wants to be first. They want to retweet that and get the drop on it rather than waiting and getting the facts.
Yeah.
And you just can't go through life like that. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's difficult because like when you see that picture of that kid in that hat with that smirk on his face, you just can't help but go, "Oh, you fucking bellend."
It's very weighted, isn't
Look
it?
at you. I mean, just the way
Hasn't
that
he got a "Make America Great" hat on?
Yeah,
as well?
yeah.
See, that's obviously going to set the tone, isn't it?
Look at that. You immediately assume a narrative. Like I'll be like, "Oh, look at this bellend." Like,
and social media bends that narrative. It picks up
Yeah.
on your political stance,
course.
and it only shows you stuff that you want to see. Do you know what I mean? That's why that's what it's there for, isn't
Look,
it?
I'm not saying the kid's not a bellend. All right.
Well,
I'm very clear on that. He might be. He's a 16-year-old
But
kid.
it
Of
didn't
course he's
go
a
down
bellend.
the way they went about it. did
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
So
I mean,
we're getting deep in the issues, aren't we?
yeah, man.
I like this.
Right, look, let's take it back. Early noughties, Brighton, drum and bass. That's what we're here for.
Where
Chris.
do we begin?
Where did it begin for you
Do you
in
know?
Brighton?
Do you
Come
know? It started in my mate Paul's bedroom.
on. Right.
He was DJ Hertz. I don't know if you remember Hertz.
No, I don't think so.
Well, he got decks, and he was into the dark stuff, man, like Raw Thang, Black Sun Empire, that kind of stuff. Do you know? And that's how I started emceeing, like in the bedroom with him. I actually started on garage. He used to mix garage, then he switched to the darker stuff. And yeah, just went from there.
That's a big switch for that
I know.
time as well.
Yeah.
Like, you were either drum and bass or you were garage.
No, see, not because we were so young. We didn't really get it by
I'd
then.
picked a side of that. At 16, I'd picked a side.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I was in suburbia, man. We were like mollycoddled.
I was in Henfield.
The ghetto of Henfield.
The mean streets of mid-Sussex.
I grew up on the mean streets of Patcham. Come on. But yeah, and it just went from there. And then he moved house. I remember he got his parents fitted out his garage. There's like a little like rec room for him where we just used to like have funky cigarettes and mix drum and bass. So yeah, and that's how it started. I think I got my first gig at the Volk shortly after that with my other friend Alex, and there was about 7 people in there.
Right, nice. Yeah,
did
good.
my thing, felt pretty special. Literally buzzed off that for about a year because I did a gig at the Volks and people were actually there. And then where did it go after that? Like, I think I started, you remember Fuse? Yes, Fuse,
Yes.
Voitech and Insights thing.
Yeah.
I was down there and Sarah Cole heard me emceeing.
That was the one that was at the little club.
Below.
Below,
on West
yes,
Street.
indeed.
Yeah, there were some evenings there. Desperados for £1. Do you remember that? Bottles of Desperado for like £1 or £1.50.
Hold on a second. Look, there's some sort of microphone issue going on.
Oh,
People
is
are
there?
talking about. We're back in business, guys.
This
It's
is how
all
real
okay.
it is out here.
Yeah, it's as real as it gets. Yeah. And talking to the mic, please, Chris.
Hello.
Yes.
Couldn't
Fine.
think of anything better to say there.
No, that's fine. Yeah, sorry, guys. Everyone's been hanging in there like real absolute champs. But yeah, it's just.
They've just been watching us have this great conversation.
No, they could hear it. It was it was
okay.
just sounding a bit iffy.
Funky. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So we're back in full HD.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Start again. Yeah, it's fine. No,
Beautiful.
we're back. So yeah, Fuse at the Below.
Fuse at Below, Sarah Cole
Yeah.
heard me, and at the time she was involved with Devotion, Fantasies thing, and that was at Concord 2. And I remember she put me on, I was meant to be doing the warm up, but Skibbity didn't show up, and so I had to do like 12 till 1 with Hazard.
Oh,
Yeah, and I literally emceed with my back to the crowd for an hour.
well, because you were terrified.
I was terrified.
Really?
Yeah, I literally. That was the pinnacle for me. You know, like when you start these things, you kind of set yourself goals. I never thought I want to be this big MC. I just want to get to here. If I
Yeah.
get here, then I'm happy. If I get there, right, then I'll look at the next one. So it's like I just set myself small sort of steps to achieve. And then when I did that, I was there. Got made their resident down at Devotion at Concord 2, and I think Friction heard me there. And then SP was he went off to do his thing. I think he had enough of like kind of the mainstream kind of drum and bass stuff, and
Right.
he really wanted to go and work with kind of D-Bridge Caliber, those guys, and so Friction asked me to come on board, which was wicked. I kind of learnt my craft there. And at the same time, I was working with him. Clayton heard me from Hardware and made me resident at Hardware too. Just like that. Like, literally, is like, Ed's put in a good word for you. A few others have said that you're cool. Just come up, man. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, I'm in the end at Hardware. And I'm just like, rah, like this is happening. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I'm MCing for Loxy and Ink, and I'm just like, I've got tapes and tapes of them guys, and it's like, and I'm just like, how, this is crazy. Like, but I like anything, you get used to it, and you meet the guys, and they're all safe, and that was the best thing, because I think I was trying to be like mainstream MC, like over the kind of more dance floor stuff, and it just wasn't me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't. I'm not lived the life of a lot of those MCs were talking about at that time, the kind of like bad man stuff, road stuff.
Yeah.
I'd not lived that life. So I'm not going to sit there and make it up. Do you know what I mean? And just like pretend to be this crazy fucking road man. Sorry, can I swear? I shouldn't swear, should I?
What? No, you swear, say anything you want, mate. As long as you don't say anything illegal.
Right, that's good.
That's fine. So I guess no threats of violence. What is it? I mean, racism's illegal in this country, and so I think, no racism.
Yeah, that was kind of a given.
Okay. Is homophobia technically illegal? I think it might be.
I think we're safe on that.
So
too.
You think you're already okay? You can be trusted.
I think we're good. So and then the Hardware thing went off, and then I met Nick Subfocus. Did a couple gigs with him, and he was just like, mate, I want you to come on board full time.
Come on, big boy.
Yeah.
And
I remember we had a meeting, right? And it was a meeting to talk about us, like, partnering up together. And
is it like a relationship?
It is a little bit like,
where are we
it's
going
like a
with
work.
this?
You spend a lot of time with someone when you're on the road with them, man. Like, a lot of time. We've had a lot of meals together in hotels and stuff.
Romantic meals,
yeah. And it's,
you had a lot of nice meals in nice hotels.
He's grown his hair now, so it's even better.
Just run your fingers through it.
Well, it doesn't go quite that far. But yeah, and then I did a few gigs with him, and he was really receptive, and I'd been a massive fan of him. Like, his music at that time was like, I was just in it, like Time Warp and them tunes, man. Do you remember when Time Warp came out? Like, there was nothing like it.
Jesus Christ. All the tunes leading up to that as well.
Frozen Solid.
Like Swamp Thing, X-Ray. Come on. Like, even like the early ones on Frequency, Down the Drain,
yeah.
Acid Test.
Acid Test is still
Get
a
on
tune.
Up. Man, they're all still tunes. Like, I was playing them on Rankin's records. Jesus Christ. Like, he ain't made a duff tune.
No.
Even like those early bits, just
he's
Scarecrow.
Nothing leaves his studio until it is like, it's got this, I get sent them, and it's like, name of tune version 194 or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, he really takes his time, and he's pretty, he's passionate about the product, and I think we both like the same type of drum and bass. Yeah. And that kind of where it worked. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're MCing for someone and you love the music that they make, that's half the battle. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because you're into it, you're going to be into every set because you want to hear those tunes. So yeah, and I was a massive fan of his, and it was all a bit surreal, to be honest, at the first, because I rose quite quick. It didn't, and I'm thankful for that. It didn't take long. I remember I was at uni, and I had to get my lecturers to send the work to me whilst I was away on doing shows and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and I managed to just about scrape through my degree. And I was never there because I was always away touring.
Thank God you got that degree.
I know.
Look, where would you be otherwise?
It is a degree of music as well. I've actually did it. Do you know what I mean? Because I remember my mum used to be like, what is this all about, Chris? Is this going to really work out for you? It's like, I'm doing a degree in music. I'm working in music. It's going to be fine. She was
my
like,
bars are getting sick, Mum.
Yeah, literally. I wrote 10 today.
Look, I called for the rewind 38 times last set.
And no one gave up. So yeah, and I've been really, I want to say lucky, but I've worked for it. Do you know what I mean? I've got certainly
put a couple of hours a weekend. It's fine, isn't it? It's a side hustle.
It's more the travelling. That's what does it, man.
I swear to God,
you've been there.
Yeah, no, the travelling does you in.
It's
man.
horrific sometimes.
Yeah, particularly on like a tight tour, like US tour or something. When obviously you can't just go round in a nice circle.
Oh no,
that's not how. I mean, logistically, it's impossible with booking different dates at different places. There's no way to get every like venue free at the right time to be able to do it in a row.
Unless you're Justin Bieber.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're just going like backwards and forwards in this most ridiculous pinball machine, like with like 4 or 5 hours of flights every day. Yeah, and
how did you find
nights.
touring America? Because you were there when the dubstep boom was there.
Man. Yeah,
that was crazy times, I reckon.
Yeah, it was weird
Really?
because it was like the rave scene there was like the early 90s rave scene in the UK.
They used to dress up in like day glow, like the leg warmer things.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the candy sort of bracelet-y,
That's still
glow
there,
stick,
man.
mad stuff. Yeah,
Still there.
I saw some weird stuff about those candy ravers recently.
Go on.
Someone who describes himself as a rave uncle. Whatever that might
See,
be.
that just sounds creepy.
Doesn't it? Like,
does.
don't trust someone who calls themselves a rave uncle.
No. And then especially if he's not your blood-related uncle.
Yeah,
don't trust
seriously.
anyone that calls themselves your uncle that's not your blood-related uncle. I think that's a good sort of, base level of...
Particularly if they want you to get in a van. No, I'm trying to think of an exception. Like,
I did the same and I've got nothing.
no, nothing. I don't know. The man from Uncle. We're going back some years, though.
After the people listening to this, like, what are they on about? The man from Uncle.
There was this.
Uncle.
Yeah.
Has he got a Twitter? Can we look him up?
Oh, maybe he was on the BBC.
He was on the BBC.
No, so it was a story covered on the BBC about a video that had gone viral of this guy and a girl at an American rave, and they're both all candy ravered up to the nines. And he takes off this like enormous bracelet thing that he's made and gives it to her. She starts crying, and she's like, "Oh, thank you so much," and they have a nice hug, and it's all sort of lovely. And it was sort of trying to explain how the sort of bracelet system thing works there, where people spend ages making these things and then they give them to each other.
Yeah, do you know you do that special handshake?
Right, is it like that?
Oh, dude, did you not know it?
No,
So
what?
you have to do, so it goes like this. So you do peace.
Peace. Okay,
and then
yeah.
love.
Yeah.
And then unity.
See? Wow.
And then respect. And then
Yeah.
that's when you change bracelets.
Oh, there's a handshake
That's
involved.
how it goes. Yeah, I got taught that when I was in America.
The plur thing was only just starting when I went out there.
That's the plur handshake. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you exchange these raver bead things.
Yeah.
And that's
Someone made me one that said bangarang on it, and I've still got it. It's a fucking treasured possession.
amazing. I think I've got one. Do you know what? As much as it is kind of for English kids, it's kind of cringe. Do you know what I mean? But I've got when you go on tour in America, and they've made you a special like MCID bracelet, and it's in the colours of the Union Jack and that, and you're like, that like you can't. You got
Yeah.
It's like, you're like,
I was honoured to get it. Of
I
course.
was like, "Deez, like that's wicked." You sat at home and made that.
I just don't want to make anyone else one.
No, yeah. I mean, time. I don't have time to sit down and make them.
I ain't crocheting at home. Like, I've got a living to make.
Yeah, got to write some bangers.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, I guess these are they're kids, they're raver kids. Like, when I was like 19, sure, like I had
How much
time
did
to
you
do it.
were in it? When you got into dance music, those first years, like your golden years, where everything's amazing.
Yeah,
and they were in that phase,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
especially if rave culture before then wasn't really existed in America, it was underground techno stuff that was going. But in terms of like bass music and like mainstream house stuff, like that wasn't even. There was no club scene in America. It was all bottle service clubs, and there's very little. Like LA and New York and a few others had cool spots, but it wasn't like. In terms of like this dubstep drum and bass thing going off, and like that really, when the doors blew open to that, like these kids, it's not only a new thing for them, it's a new thing for the entire country. And I think that's why I think it took so heavily.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because everyone embraced it.
Yeah, and I mean, they just do the classic American thing of having to make everything just sort of gigantic. And
like, bigger and better, yeah.
More flashing lights, more lasers. Come on, let's make it more extreme, more ridiculous. I mean, and it's wonderful in its own sort of way.
Well, I speak to these guys that have live shows, so they've got their DJ set and they've got these big live shows as well, and they're like, well, we don't bother taking it to America and they just basically built a whole owl, this huge owl on top of the stage, and as each DJ kind of plays, it like its wings open and close, and this thing is massive, and you just don't get that level of production over here. Do you know what I mean? You get it in Russia.
I'll tell you where you get it. You get it on the continent for hardcore festivals.
Really?
Yeah.
So have you done a few of them?
I've done a few.
So what were you? What room were you in? Like
I'll either been in the really hard drum and bass bit, or
Right.
I did a few dubstep. Like I did a few with Joe from Neuro before they were huge.
Ah, okay, yeah. Johnson.
We did like Cubase Festival and a few others in Holland.
Right.
And man, hardcore and hardstyle in Holland is like, they'll get hundreds of thousands of people at the festivals, and they're just festivals like nothing you've ever seen before.
Yeah,
just
like Tomorrowland.
They're like that sort of style of thing, and they're just the level of production is insane.
It blows your mind.
And the people that you get there are just like no ravers you've ever seen. Like, because hardcore's always had a strange following because it has that sort of it's just sort of electronic punk music in a weird way. It's like music for people who don't really fit into any other genre or scene or any other part of society. It's because it's also like there aren't particularly that many melodics to it, and it's just like a just hard pounding sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of music. I'm probably doing them a terrible disservice, but it's like music for people who aren't really into music.
Just completely
you just want to go and
simplify,
thrash around, and I don't know. This is my outside experience of it. It's a sort of dubstep
from
Louis Theroux.
those couple of festivals you played it.
Yeah, I think I know it all. I've got it all worked out.
Amazing.
And I mean, they're lovely, lovely people, but I mean, they're just like, they're not people that you see at any other event.
No, so they are literally dedicated.
They're nutters. Absolutely, like they are hardcore.
First time I went to Tomorrowland,
the physical embodiment of that music.
First time I went to Tomorrowland, I walked past that stage and they just had ambulances at the back. Like ready, because you know those kids, they dance like
they
there's
go fucking hard.
It's like mosh pits and stuff, like hard mosh pits though, not like a drum and bass mosh pit, which is like Quentin from Loughborough Uni just decided to jump around a bit. Like these are proper mosh pits, do you know what I mean? And
Quentin from Loughborough Uni.
Well, that's
I've smashed him in a few mosh pits in my time.
When I see a mosh pit at a drum and bass rave, I'm just a bit like, I'm like, okay, but really,
there's someone with boat shoes on.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, they don't just mosh to like the hard tunes. They'll mosh to like some like liquid tune. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Have you seen? There's a video of a mosh pit at a tech house.
No way.
Tech house day rave.
What?
Yeah.
What is going on?
It's just a lot of people like sharing it, really complaining. Like this is just like they're like, this is toxic masculinity. It's a load of geezers smashing into each other. I was like, almost inclined to agree with you there.
I think it is, isn't it? Do you know what? A lot of MCs shut that down so hard.
They really hate it.
Yeah. See, I just kind of ignore it because I'm like, I can't be bothered.
It depends on the rave, man. Like, there's definitely raves where a mosh pit's appropriate. Like,
if you're at like a therapy session.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're at a prospect night. Like, this thing's going to happen.
Yeah, that's fine. But that music kind of it fits it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like some nice Playing Atlantis by Bookham is not really a tune to mosh to.
Hey, mate, the vibe has got heavy if someone's moshing to Atlantis.
Bruv, it's yeah.
Caliber remix of Spectra Soul or something.
Do you know that's what they're going off to? Yeah. It's mental. I think I blame, this is going to get off tangent again, but I blame like the social media, just kind of like the kind of level of what is it? How much you can listen to something. I just get bored after 15 seconds and just like, I'm just going to start a mosh pit because, it's.
I wonder whether or not you remember. I remember there being a particular time in which, and this was kind of around the blow up of dubstep, like the European blow up of dubstep, where the thing that can make people go the most crazy in the club was not an MC hyping it, but was a photographer with a camera with a light on the top, not taking photos.
That would set it.
Taking videos, would go down the front and start going like that, and people would just start going. Wow. As soon as there's a camera in their face with a light on the top, they just start absolutely losing their minds.
But it's that thing of like, I've got to show everyone I'm having an amazing time.
Yeah.
Just,
so
that's just have a good time anyway. Do you know what I mean?
And it was so perfect to sort of encapsulate that social media. Someone else's highlight reel versus your bloopers reel. Looking at someone else's show and like, oh, that looks fucking amazing. And it was for that 30 seconds that cameraman had the camera down the front.
It looked like Fire Festival, what it could have been. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I'm ready for 2020 Fire Festival. Ja Rule's going to be bringing it back.
Do you know what I mean? Could you imagine? But that is like that comment in that, it just said that festival summed up Instagram expectation versus reality, and that's what it is. That's exactly like that video. That after movie of that rave, it just captures about 12 seconds of
Yeah.
of it going off. But you know, you played for an hour and a half. Was it going off that whole?
No, I played for an hour and a half. Of course, it wasn't going off.
Just exodus.
Yeah, it was just people crying. A dog came in and was sick. I don't know what's going on.
Just the best rave.
I think my friend Dylan King Cannibal told a story about. I might have the name wrong. It might have been. It was either Machine Drum or someone else doing an ambient set somewhere in Berlin, and it was the sort of one where everyone sits down on the floor, listens to it, and the high point of it was a stray dog actually got in and was sick. That was the high point of the ambient set.
So I don't think I'd go to an ambient set rave.
You know what? I'd give it a miss. I remember Glade 2004.
That was a festival. Crikey.
Mid-noughties Glade.
Gosh. That really, there were some sights at Glade. Oh, yeah.
Man, yeah. This was, I believe, the year before the massive washout. Or 2 years before, maybe.
Okay.
But my tent was next to the ID Spiral stage, which was at night the Psytrance stage.
Okay.
But and sort of either side of like 10 and 4, it was some sort of like chill out sort of ambient sort of thing, which was a lot of people sat on the floor gurning and
just trying to piece their souls back together.
Yeah, and just sort of plaiting each other's dreadlocks and being very hairy and smelling terrible and being on acid and stuff. And I was still young. I was prepared to accept these things as being an acceptable reality.
Do you know, like when you're there, it's just all new sights and sounds. You know, and there's nothing quite like that festival feeling when you're young. Like, you know, it's great. The only time I get that festival feeling now is very few festivals. Glastonbury's the one. When I walk into Glastonbury, I'm like, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, you get that like, this is gonna be sick.
Fingers crossed you've got an early set so that you can
just
get it done.
Yeah.
And then
the last time I had 4 sets in one night at Glastonbury.
It's not bad.
I missed the last one because they wouldn't let me into the Shangri-La area.
Decent.
Yeah, they were like, sorry, no one's coming. I was like, I'm actually playing that. Yeah, everyone. You and everyone, mate. Yeah. Like, go on. I literally was like, I literally can't get in to do my set. Like, this is great. Cool. I think Adapt had to step in. Big up Adapt. Thank you, mate. Coming for you.
The year that I did Glastonbury, I think I did about 3 shows there. It was probably the worst festival I've ever been to. It was so bad. It was just torrential rain the entire time, and I made a really I made a real error of judgment by thinking, I know, I'll take this opportunity to play a retrospective vinyl set.
You did.
And like, I'll lug 200 records around the 5 square mile site.
Oh my God.
Like in knee-deep mud.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. It sounded like a great idea. I didn't foresee the logistical nightmare.
See, that's someone that's still really buzzing about playing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're fresh, you've got that buzz, you're like, I'm going to just take 200 records with me to this field.
Brilliant.
And it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
You don't think of the repercussions of that decision. Like, what do I do now? I'm drunk after my set and I've got 200 records on me.
No, it took us, from getting from the front gate to where we were camping, took 6 hours.
No way.
That was in the car. Like, it was I was worried I was going to run out of petrol.
Amazing.
And and then carting records sort of to and from. It was taking like a couple of hours to get to different places. But a couple of hours with 200 records, I mean, that's probably, I don't know, 60 or something, maybe 70. Like, it was a really significant amount of poundage. It's
heavy. It's heavy.
I felt like I was on that SAS program, Who Dares Wins.
Just tapping out, just like...
Yeah, it's just Ant Middleton screaming cunt in my face.
Was that while you were playing or before?
Yeah, come on, stop clanging the 9, piece of shit.
You not lived until you clanged the 9.
If you clang the 9 one more time, Al Qaeda are going to turn up with the AKs, and then you're going to be for it.
Hey, you know what? If you've not clanged the 9, you know...
You haven't lived.
Like, you've not really.
Understand.
That really kind of anxious moment when it drops out and you've matched them drums before and you're waiting for that breakdown to be done and that little riff goes wow, and you're just like praying, please drop on time. Please drop on time.
Jeez, do you see that video of Andy at XOYO double dropping Signal and Masochist?
How? The guy's a machine. The guy is a machine. Like, he is, like, it's crazy. I watched that and I just, like, baffled. I watched it 4 times, I think. I was just, like, baffled.
I watched it on my phone. I think I was still in bed, and I swear to God I came up. I was just like, I was fucking buzzing. Like, oh my... God.
I need to go. I think we're all planning to go on the 15th. Culture Shock's playing, supporting. So I think we're all getting a few of the team together, and we're going to roll down.
I need to hassle someone for list. I don't know. Maybe I need to get Jim in a headlock and just...
Jim, do it, yeah. Jim, well, we're putting it out there now.
Jim, Jim, please. God, the 15th.
Come roll with on the 15th.
Please.
Come roll with.
Yeah, I mean, I have to.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's meet up. We'll have a bit of dinner and then shoot down.
Oh, lovely. We can have a romantic dinner.
Well, I don't know.
All right,
easy on the romance. It'll be wicked.
Oh, no, look, I've got a lot of love to give.
We will tap up Culture Shock, see how much guest list he's got.
It's like, listen, I've had every motherfucker that's ever listened to drum and bass ring me up about this.
Yeah.
That new bit of his is nice. What's it? Is it Taken?
From the newest sequences ones he's done.
It came
Take Control.
Yeah, I want to say Take Control.
Absolute.
Yeah, there are tickets on the door. I know.
Yeah, absolute banger, man.
Where is it?
Is that what they're saying? Tickets on the door.
Yeah,
yeah, but High Ranking doesn't roll like that. He's straight VIP.
Look, I have enough pain being in clubs I'm not being paid to be in.
So do we all, mate. Trust me.
Yeah, Take Control.
Absolute
great
banger.
record.
He has been on point this year, man. He's just, like There For You. That was a banger. The sequences ones he's done. Bunker, come on. Bunker's a tune.
Yeah.
Love that, yeah. And he's, it's great to see him putting stuff out consistently now. Because I feel there's such a gap between his music. He'll just write this like amazing tune and you won't hear nothing for another 6 months. You're like, I just want more, do you know what I mean? But he's been really consistent and it's really good. I think sounds like he's in a good place.
Yeah.
Which is cool, And you can tell, I think producers that are in good places put out music consistently, don't they?
Yep.
And I think he's got the right team with him now. I think he's with Worship. And they are, they're with
management.
Management, yeah.
Right.
Seb and Jake, and I think they're really kind of together. They're really doing the vibe on him. It's really cool, man. Like, Take Control is an absolute killer. I love that shit. I wheeled it up in Leeds the other night. Straight wheel up, bro. Nothing.
What I like about his stuff is like all the there's a real depth of sound to like the individual elements of all the bits. Like it really, I don't know. Everything has got a sort of, I don't know. What's the best way to describe it? It's just like a depth.
Yeah, well, do you know what? For me, with their tunes, like him and Nick have a similar vibe where they let very like minimal elements speak volumes.
Yes, that's exactly
that's kind of what, like, every sound, like, it's not crowded, it's not there's not kind of loads of stuff going on, but every element of that tune is doing something positive towards that tune. Do you know what I mean? And that for me is kind of where it's best, because there's dynamic there to it. So much stuff now, they just stack the mix full of backfill it almost to just give it that width and that kind of pump, and it just
that's what I do.
No. I mean, like, you're talking like people like just slamming loads of white noise behind their brakes and stuff constantly. You don't need that, man. Like, you listen to their stuff and it's quite simple, but it's because everything is really mixed well.
It's width,
and it has its stereo imaging.
It's the girth. That's something that that's the fucking Killbox thing. Like, I'm going through that album. Like,
the Killbox album,
mate,
come on, it's audio and Ed Rush.
I know.
Do you think the mix downs are going to be bad?
I shouldn't be crying about it in the studio. But like, was A and Bing stuff to it, and I mean, it's sort of
there's
stupid
your first
because
problem,
not only as it just like those pair of fucking dickheads do such a good job with it, and then whoever's mastered it, I don't know, it's Bo or someone has just like given it the real fucking
giving
sauce.
that little like golden glaze.
Yeah, it is that
little Frank's hot sauce on
the little secret 11 herbs and spices.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I'm really sort of just to try and get, like, I know a lot. If I can get it to 75% or something, then if I can send it to someone decent in terms of mastering, they can get it to 85%.
I mean, you've got to let it go at some point. That's the problem, isn't it? Else it just sits in your computer. So you're not precious about that, because so many are.
I'm to an extent, but not as much as some people are. I'm very much aware of like my limitations as a producer. Like, I know I'm not going to be able. Like, there's no point.
Dude, I'm the same. I'm aware of my limitations as an MC. Trust me, I'm not about to go double time the dance because I just can't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is it's important to be able to like find your niche, really, and that's something that you did very well, which is like find like, okay, well, I can find, right, here's the little bit that sort of like is in between like the sort of crescendos of tracks and stuff, and like enough to lay nice lyrics over the right bits and stuff, but also give the music space to breathe and everything, and just add. Because, that naming names like people who were like all over it, like at points that really adds to it and makes stuff really great. But then there's also points where it's just like, look, can you shut up?
But you know what? It is such a matter of taste now. I get kids in the front row just asking me to double time, and I'm like, I'm just, it's not me, But
I can't imagine like asking an MC to do a specific
that's pretty
thing.
common,
It's really
man.
weird.
That's pretty common.
I can imagine like asking a DJ like a request, can you play this? Particularly like, can you play one of your own things? Like
yeah.
But like
no, that's that they do. It's like
shouting time warp.
It's this.
On the phone, can you have it?
Yeah. I've had on the phone. Can you double time, please? Yeah, that's at least
you're not a real MC if you can't double time. Chris.
I think I've got one double time lyric. Yeah. But I'm going to write some more. I should.
Thought about writing any lyrics about Auto Trader or any other car retail sites?
Do you know what? I don't like to endorse websites. So,
hey, when Skimmer wrote those bars, he wasn't even getting paid as an influencer.
He should so hit them up now. Just because I've been repping you for 10 years.
Where's my 20%?
Come on now. Do you think of the amount of drum and bass kids that now click on Auto Trader? They're going to do it, man.
Yeah, they're looking for like a 2002 Vauxhall Corolla.
There's
or
a whole
something.
gap in the influencer MC market where like you can Colgate's going to pay you 500 quid if you mention Colgate in your rhymes. Do you know what I mean?
Oh God, me and Jim, who does Rankin Radio with me, we took a clip of it's Shabba, Riddler, and
Riddler was sick.
5-0 or maybe Foxy, I can't remember. It was a very long time ago. MCing on Kiss FM with Hype.
Yeah.
And then redubbed it so that they're just rapping about deals at Asda. I'll send it to you.
Please do. Is it as good as Mega Rave? What was
no, I think Rave-ageddon is probably my pinnacle of creativity.
Do you know what? That went kind of viral, that, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
I can remember some of the key little lines in that.
Yeah.
Kenny Ken back to back with Kenny Ken was quite inspired.
People still put that on lineups.
Do they?
Bangface, every time they have him, they put him on as Kenny Ken back to back with Kenny Ken.
That's beautiful. That's wicked, yeah. I think everyone found the joke in it, didn't they?
Yeah, I've not had any negative feedback from people that were in it. I was having dinner with Skibbs in Russia, and people were talking about it, but he was just engrossed in his phone. I don't know if it's even touched his reality.
Yeah, maybe.
Skibber's magical world of dancing dildos or whatever.
It's a bit. Have you ever done anything like that, and then you realise you've got to go sit with someone that you said something about? Have you ever been like, oh God, this could be a bit awkward?
Well, I've not said anything mean, particularly about anyone that I care about.
Right? Okay.
Like I've said all manner of. I've said a lot of mean things about Twisted Individual, but it's because I think he's a twat.
Okay, fair enough.
I got someone had a go at me for posting that meme about DJ Gov.
Right.
But I don't know. Gov's, he has his rants on Twitter.
I'm sure he's completely oblivious, making lots of money and enjoying his
just
time.
enjoying his jump up. It's fine.
Why not? Yeah.
But he was having that Soldier Boy style rant about how it. Did you not see it?
No.
It was,
I don't go on social
banter.
media much, man.
Hey, I'm trying to wind down, particularly Twitter, but loads of people sent it to me. You couldn't get away from it. It's as far as I can tell, Soldier Boy has been on some sort of rant recently, kind of like
about console.
Something, but he was kind of carrying on like he sort of invented hip hop, and everyone after him was just sort of referencing him.
Okay,
and so then Gov's like going, yeah, I can sort of see what he's saying, because after my track Warning, basically that brought Jump Up back out of the grave, and every other Jump Up tune after that has been influenced by Warning, and people are just like, you what?
Yeah, that's quite a claim.
It is. It's quite a claim.
I'm not going to give my opinion on that, but it's quite a claim.
That's fine. I didn't bring you up here for your opinions on Jump Up.
You didn't. Yeah. Well, I'd love to give them, but.
And then he was sort of, he was like, well, now these guys that call themselves the kings of a genre, of a sub-genre.
Oh, so he's calling out...
Kings of Rollers,
so but why?
But in that statement, he basically says that rollers are a genre.
Yeah. Oh, see, this is where it's coming from. See, I've seen, You know, like I follow a few people and I've seen this thing like rollers isn't a genre on Twitter, and I'm like, I just scroll past. I'm like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's how much it reaches me. But I didn't realise it all stemmed from this kind of rant.
No, this is the rollers are or are not a genre. It's been going on for a few weeks now.
Do you know what? Like,
so
but you know, when you tune as a roller, you call it a roller. That's a roller, that bruv.
I think it's hilarious for a few reasons. One, like what actually defines a genre, what defines a subgenre, who gets to decide, how many people refer to it.
The fact that people get cut up about it is the joke, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Why do you care?
Like, oh, that's tech step. No, that's hard tech. That's something or other. That's jungle tech. Like, doesn't matter. It's really genres only matter so you know which Ministry of Sound compilation to put them on.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You need that's the only classification it needs. I think you can pretty much tell kind of what the vibe of the tune is. You don't need to purist it. Yeah,
but I don't mind. I think let's get intersectional about it. Let's have it splintered off into every different type of thing. So like,
we don't have record shops anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no,
so
exactly.
We don't need it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I suppose Spotify playlists.
I guess, or are we looking for more subcategories on Beatport? Like, I mean, drum and bass.
Beatport's so rubbish though. For like, in terms of searching for stuff.
Oh yeah,
like their algorithms are terrible.
Yeah, it's not a strong look. It's like Beatport's fine if you just like, well, I need to buy this and this.
If you
and
know
this
the
tune.
name of the song and the producer,
Yeah.
you can just about find it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if it's like something that you're just getting into, like I used to buy a lot of house and techno off Beatport, and that was nice to search because I just didn't know anything about it at all.
Did you just buy stuff that you'd like?
Yeah,
just I like that. I love that.
Yeah.
See, that's the way to do it, man. Like not buying because this person's playing it and that. You know, just going through and buying tunes that you ultimately just want to play.
Hey, I'll tell you a great tip. If you're getting into a genre and you want to try and find really good stuff and not wade through loads and loads of shit, find a website like this works quite well for house and techno.
Yeah.
Go to a house and techno record shop website, like a big one. Mm-hmm. There's a gem one, it's called like vinyl.de or something or other. You will find it.
Yeah.
And just go through all the vinyl that's been released and then buy it on MP3 because like if it's come out on vinyl, it will be of a significant quality because someone has gone to the trouble of actually pressing it to vinyl.
Knowing that we're not risking that they're going to lose money.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to stump up
a
$1,000 for your release. Like you'll
get that mastered.
And you've got to get it distributed, and distributors are not in the business of distributing complete tosh on vinyl anymore.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
So then go and buy it on MP3 or look it up on Spotify, whatever.
See, I'm trying to find all the old garage stuff at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got a vinyl stash upstairs of like proper cool garage, like
not a cool garage vinyl stash up.
Pulse X, all the tunes, 138 Trek.
Oh yes,
all the bangers.
GQ Vocal Mix.
On the flip side at 33.
Hello.
You know.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to find. I want to digitize it basically, but I haven't got a vinyl deck, so I need to kind of. Do you know what? I just looked there and saw. I can see that's Twist 'Em Out, isn't it?
There's one in there. That's not Twist 'Em Out. Actually. That is probably. No, that's Harder They Come 3.
Oh, how wrong was I?
Easy. Twist 'Em Out is in there. It's somewhere
because I played it on the last mix on it,
mate. Big time celebrity.
Come on.
Look, that's one of my all-time, life goals is to twist one with Skibbity. I don't quite know what it means, but it sounds cool.
I think that's achievable.
Twist. Play Twister, or do the twist. I don't know.
I think drum and bass DJs playing Twister is be positive for the scene.
It could be YouTube content in that, couldn't it?
I think everyone's scrabbling for content now. I hate that. It's like, great for the content. I'm just like,
great content. Content is king.
Yeah.
Go social media. Get it on the Instagram
king.
story.
Music is king. Let's just put that out there now.
There's a few people that are not on social media at all, like because Break and Caliber.
Yeah.
And I really, really want to come off all social media, but I just don't know whether or not it's.
I think doing this, you're going to struggle to do that.
Yeah.
Because you have to link it through social media.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
you need to pay someone to do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an argument for that. I really want to. Have you noticed we had some tech problems today? To get someone as a sort of, I don't know if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yes, I do.
Jamie, who does Young Jamie. Pull that shit up, Young Jamie. Yeah. I kind of, I've got a few people to talk to, but someone to sort of do
what
that.
What podcasts are you rating?
I listen to Rogan's a lot.
Yes, same. Do you listen to the Macaulay Culkin episode?
Yeah.
That was weird.
It was weird. It wasn't as weird as I wanted it to be.
Really?
Though. I wanted him to talk about Jacko, and he didn't.
No, I don't, and he's never going to talk about that.
He did sort of recently, didn't he? He said like, yeah, we hung out, nothing happened. It feels like it should have been weird, but it wasn't.
Right. Well, that's what he said. It's more the bowel stuff. I was just like a bit too much on the bowels.
On the bowels?
He talked a lot about his bowels.
Oh,
Apparently
yeah.
He's got an ulcer.
Various ailments and
Yeah.
stuff that he has.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look healthy, does he?
No, he looks healthier than he used to.
Yeah. But still not healthy.
No, not healthy.
I listened to the Steven Tyler one from Aerosmith as
I
well.
haven't listened to that one.
That was quite good, man. Yeah, like, it's interesting because he's like a rock star, do you know what I mean? So growing up in those times or being in a band in those times. Whew.
Yeah. What Rogan ones have been good recently?
Yeah, give me some so I can add them to the old listening list.
I don't. Yeah, I'll have a think. Do you listen to Jocko Willink's podcast? He's a former Navy SEAL.
No,
he's been on Rogan's a few times and been on Tim Ferriss's a few times.
And what's the vibe of each episode?
His vibe is like, get stuff done.
Wow.
Get up early. Get out there. And,
motivational kind of
sort
stuff.
of a lot of motivation. It does a lot of sort of book reviews, has good interviews with people, and it's like it's some dark shit, like reviews pretty intense.
Yeah, I like that though, like real stuff, like factual
stories.
stories. Yeah.
A lot of sort of books about war and stuff. Like Jordan Peterson's podcast gets a lot of interesting interviews and stuff on there. Him on Rogan's podcast is always good.
Yeah, see, I'm just scratching the surface here. There's a couple of them into like Adam Buxton one, obviously.
Yeah,
that's great. I really
quite light-hearted.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're traveling, you can just put it on, and it's like it's quite funny. He's a funny guy. Do you know what I mean? And the Scroobius Pit one I said to you earlier, that's quite interesting.
I tell you, if you want a light-hearted, funny one, Bob Mortimer's Atletico Mints podcast.
So is that good? Because I thought it was about football.
Mate. Well, it is, but I don't know anything about football, and I actually hate football.
I'm not a football fan either.
But you don't need to know anything, and it's probably, well, they guarantee 7% football content.
Oh, okay. So it's just general chit chat because he's a funny guy.
It's so funny.
Like, I keep scrolling past it. I'm like, because I think it's about football. I'm like, I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be me. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the funniest podcasts I think just ever. It's too good. There's also one. It's called. It's the woman at a nighty night who she's called Julia something, and it's her and another woman whose name I can't. I'm just absolutely terrible with names. Mm-hmm. And basically, it's they're sort of like they're playing characters of two agony aunts, right?
And it's so dark, and they go
well, the problems are like.
Well, the problems are really like normal,
but they just go
stuff.
in.
They just go like. Just absolutely beyond. Like, you can't even imagine they're saying the stuff they're saying. Like,
really,
I think they get away with a lot because they're playing characters and also they're women. It's like they can seem like they can push it just that little bit further. It's so funny. I actually had to pull over once when I was listening to it on the motorway because I was crying with laughter.
This sounds
so
perfect.
much.
Yeah.
Like, and I couldn't hold it together, and I was like, I can't drive. I just have to pull over and kind of get my shit together.
Amazing. All right. Well, I'll get them off you after, and we'll.
Someone put it up in the chat. I'm sure someone will know. It's called like Judith and Jamal. I don't know. Someone will say. Someone's saying Brian Cox on Joe Rogan's last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I love this live aspect. People can just chime in.
Yeah, and they do. Well, luckily, if we didn't know about them, we wouldn't have known about the audio issue.
No, this is true. What they're saying. Is there anything they want to know?
So back to back, Kenny Ken was good. Rankin, there's tickets on the door. Sort your act out.
Cool.
Raging, raving uncle sounds hella brutal.
I wouldn't want to be the receiving end of a rave uncle, that's for sure.
Someone called Gary says, ask ID if he remembers me pushing him around his garden in a plastic car.
That's my uncle. Oh my God.
Gary O'Donoghue.
That's my uncle, yeah. And I do remember that. And I've never been the same since.
Skibbity was getting grief earlier. Why was Skibbity getting grief? I don't know.
Why? Don't give grief to Skibbity. He's a legend.
Not Uncle Skibbs.
He's a legend.
He's the only uncle that you can say Uncle Skibbs. He's not.
Do you know what I love about those guys as well? Is that they have maintained their status at the top for how many years? That is difficult.
Well, they've gone all the way.
That's what I'm saying.
Haven't
This,
they?
like, you know, this SAS thing is just. I think it's brilliant. I think it's amazing. Like they managed to just stay there constantly, and that's so hard to do as an MC. You know.
I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else that's kind of like in. I mean, they've basically done the sort of Andy. They've been the Andy trajectory. I mean,
yeah, they've up there and just boom.
Yeah, we're just up there with Stone. Like it's. I mean, I also feel like there's no one that's like, hey, we're the new guard. We're gonna take a pop at the whole crew. I mean,
well, do you know, they're not taking a pop because I don't think you can.
Yeah,
but
obviously there's a new guard, but it's like they're not like out to try and.
I don't, because I think because they've just still so good at what they do. Yeah. I think Azza and Grimer are the two for me out of the new guys that MC like in that style. They're the guys that I go to listen to as a Grimer. And like Inja, but Inja's so versatile. Yeah. But Inja can do that and he can do hosting. Like they're the guys that I check for now, like sets and stuff. If there's an Azza and Grimer set, I'll put that on. If there's an Inja set, King of the Rollers set, like that's always wicked to listen to. Yeah, they're definitely guys that I go out my way to listen to now. Yeah, and Inja's album was wicked, and Degs as well. I've got to give a big shout out to Degs because he's a local boy. He's Horsham Mandem. It's awesome. You know. So yeah, Degs is doing bits, man. That's a big tune. That
DRS, you're a DRS man?
Massive DRS fan, obviously. You know, who isn't? Because he kind of like, I think he was the one that kind of took the MC album track thing, being an artist in their own right in terms of releasing music. He pioneered that in this generation. You know, he put it out there and he did it in such a cool way as only he can do. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I've got mad time for DRS.
Play a lot of his stuff.
His new album's coming out soon.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Definitely. Play a lot of his bits. Inja gets a significant look in.
Mate, you can't blow them away. Come on. That's a tune. I love their little silencer gunshot snare. Come on. I only picked up on that and I was like, that's such a cool little thing.
It sounds like from Goldeneye or something.
Yeah, it probably is the golden gun. Me. Yeah, could you imagine how... We need to find out. Serum, let us know if you're listening.
Someone called Trident7 says, I remember the first time I met ID when he was 16, and it was my first time up on pirate radio in Hackney.
Wow. So that was Drum and Bass Worldwide.
Oh, I played on Drum and Bass Worldwide a few times.
You did, yeah. I had a regular show. Remember Cyrus? Yes. Cyrus the Virus. Yeah. Me, Cyrus. He's DJ Majesty back then, and it was MC Maximum.
Yes.
Yeah.
MC Mac. Yes. Mate, God, this is really taking me back. How old was I? I definitely wasn't 18.
By the way, me and Will have known each other quite a long time. We just want to put that out there.
Yeah. I guess I would have been 16, 17 maybe.
I was around the same age, yeah. This is the thing. People are like, you're like, being MC is so easy. Coming up, it's like, I used to drive from Brighton to London every week to pay on an internet radio show just so I could play to some people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and that's just one side of it. Do you know what I mean? And it's...
people say, being an MC so easy. Go on then.
Yeah, do you know what it is? You give them a mic in front of a few thousand people.
Well, not only that, well, yeah, completely. And then just like, well, yeah, all right, go on then, make a name for yourself. Go on then, now be a big name. Now get bookings, like you know.
Run your business accordingly. Make a living out of it.
Yeah, now make a living out of it. Like it's not like. It's like, building an illustrator is easy. Anyone can draw a picture. Yeah. But, I mean, sort of to an extent. Like, you can say words into it. Like, you can press play on the turntable. Like
from the outside looking in. Do you know what it is as well? We need more as well. We need more MCs. Like there is a shortage of, especially my style, like that partner up with a DJ. A lot of people I'm talking to, like producers and that, they're like, there's no one else. Like, we can't get someone that will roll with us. Yeah. Because there's no one out there good enough, you know?
It's difficult. I'd really like to have a decent MC come out with me that I worked well with, because like having that sort of synchronization between DJ and MC, it really does add like an extra like 50% on top, and like
thank you.
That's
Good, do you know what I mean? Like, not many, so no, because it's such a conflicted issue. MC,
Really?
So, of course it is. Come on, the MC debate's
yeah,
going
I
on
know,
for years.
but like, I mean, the people who are just like, oh, MC's shit, like,
Yeah.
you're fucking insane. Like, have you
Still
ever
on
like,
DOA.
yeah, like, you ever been to like a rave and just seen like Skipper roll up, like jump on, and just watch an entire club just go,
Do you know what? I would do all his bars back to him just like that, as if
Yeah.
it was nothing. And he's like, he dwarfs the DJ sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's like, and that's what I
Well,
think.
it won't help when he stands directly in front of you.
That's the trick. That's what you do, man.
Yeah.
When Nick's DJing, I'm just like, right, just make myself as big as I can.
Hey, if it's like a local MC, I'll unplug them if they do that. Like, if it's Skipper, I was like, that's fine. You're bigger than me.
Do you know what though? That is the thing. A lot of people will say like, I'd rather have no MC than a bad MC.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, bad local MCs are 10 a penny.
Yeah.
Like there's always some fucking idiot
Your mate
at
Dave's
small
on the mic,
rave that will come up and grab the mic. Like I will rather do it myself than have some absolute moron on. And believe me, I've had my fair share of morons. I've got into fist fights with
Really?
MCs. Yeah, Funky Bud Lounge once.
Oh no way! Because I
Yeah.
remember that was when you used to
We'll
drop.
do Fallout.
What did you used to drop RoboCop with?
Oh,
I remember the mix. Wasn't it like Falling and RoboCop or
No,
something by Raiden? Because
uh,
RoboCop was Noetic and Friction, wasn't it?
It was
No,
New
Balance and Friction.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
New Balance and New
Yeah, it's New Balance and Friction.
yeah.
With Concord Dawn, Don't Tell Me.
Yes.
Double drop of that.
I was there when you dropped that first.
Man.
I was in the
all
rave.
you have to do is start them at the same time.
What, just like so same intro length?
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep. But someone came in because there's a tiny little booth there. And it's a booth with a door,
And it's like got a window, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 It was like so basically, if you've not been there before, it's just a tunnel under the arches in Brighton. And yeah.
Yes, and tiny little booth. Guy comes in, never seen him before. Grabs the mic, starts fucking going on. Like if
Where
he
was Mum Dance? Just
around, just don't
At
know,
the bar.
just at the bar, chirps and birds. I don't know.
Right,
You know,
okay.
not doing his job. That's for damn sure. And if they'd have been really good, I'd have just like, all right.
Bless, yeah, crack
Fine,
on, but wicked,
crack on.
yeah, almost
I
like
mean,
thank you, yeah.
Sort of a dick move to just come in and just grab it. He didn't say like, "Can I get on the mic?"
See, that's
he just
weird.
grabbed it.
Yeah, say hi.
Yeah.
Is it okay
hello,
if
it's
ask?
nice. A general acknowledgement
Yes,
of your presence.
I am playing the music to which everyone is dancing to. You
Yeah.
want to shout over the top of it.
Yeah.
Please ask me if that is okay. Like, do you know what I mean? That exchange should have taken place.
Perhaps the responsibility lies with me for there being a mic that was plugged in and turned on at the time. I think because
You're
there was
too busy double dropping the 9, man. Do you know what I mean?
Tell you what, because there were the two Fallout MCs, which was Sugar and Chris. I can't remember
Sugar,
his
yes,
name.
Loz.
Yeah, and Chris is. I can't remember Chris's MC name. He was one of
Insight.
the Insight. Yeah, one of the Trouble Vision boys.
He was Scandals, mate.
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't know where they were. Maybe drinking chips and bears. I don't know where they were.
That seems a theme, that drum and bass night.
Particularly at Fallout. Yeah, I mean there were cheap drinks, but high class beds.
It was good. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, fun times, man.
And anyway, this guy starts jabbering away. He was very bad, so I turned the mic off.
Yeah.
And then he was very upset by this. And
Okay.
an argument ensued, as is reasonable under those circumstances.
I mean, yeah.
Like, I turned his mic off because he'd just picked it up and he was terrible and, you know, hadn't even said hi.
He's killing the vibe.
He was like, how dare you? How dare you have the
Wow.
audacity to cut me off mid-flow? I'm paraphrasing here. I think.
I mean,
there were
yeah.
probably more swear words
Yeah.
and it's like, and it's such a tiny booth.
Yeah.
You couldn't really fit more
It's
than
a
two
pressured
people in
moment.
there.
It's a pressured moment.
That it just sort of it turned very quickly into like a, because he tried to turn it back on and then I was like no, and then it very quickly escalated to
Right.
physical, like not punchy but just like
holding it, just go away, bro.
just sort of thing. And then people sort of realised what's going on and someone went and got the bouncer. I mean, it was more just like holding on to each other, shaking
Yeah.
each other, like you might do with a sibling or
But you know,
something.
when you say that, the audacity for him to say, for turning off, the audacity to just walk up and just grab the mic. That's kind of the first
Hey, that's
issue.
MCs, man. That's
Yeah, I know.
MCs.
That's how I did it. I just walked up at every rave. I was like, give me that.
Yeah, didn't even bring your own mic.
No.
That's it. Come on.
Oh, no. No.
Turning up as a DJ, I didn't bring headphones.
Did you not, ever?
Yeah, of course I did.
Did you bring an adapter though?
No, that's another question, isn't it? Yeah. I was saying earlier, like before we started, about how many adapters I'd ended up losing by giving to other DJs afterwards, but I probably ended up with more from DJs before me. I've had a few DJs that have really, really not wanted to part with it.
Really?
Like quite big name DJs, and they've just been, I've been like, look, I don't have one. Like I'm fucked up here, but like you have to let me
60p, bro.
Have your adapter. And like had it like I really like know
it's
that
a
they're
real moral
like
just
like they know they've got to say yes because they're a quid, but like they're really like, oh god, yeah. I don't know. I've had a few funny incidents over the years. I had a funny incident with Rodigan once, bless him.
Really?
Yeah, well, the set times have been... he had been basically given incorrect set times.
Right.
And I'd only been on for about 20 minutes, and he came in, and he was like, very politely put his stuff down and everything, and he was like, okay, so yeah, 10 minutes. And I was like, no, I was like, at 1. And he was like, no, 12:30. So I was like, no, I've only been playing for half an hour. It's just, 12.
Yeah.
And
that was awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, and he had a printout of his itinerary, and he was like, no! I'm not arguing with Rodigan.
You don't want to clash Rodigan, do you? Let's face it.
Come on. I'm not in the business of arguing with like a living legend. I was like, all right, mate, I guess I got a half an hour set.
Wow.
This is at Cable in London.
Well, you think...
Great show as well. Yeah, I was like, fine, okay. Yeah. And then from right, it's kind of like, where's old Rodigan on now? I was like, you go and talk to him about it.
I've had a couple of those, man. Yeah. I remember Bassman's brother Long John, we was in Custard Factory, and I was MCing, and he wanted to have a little go. And I had to say no, because obviously I'm on with Friction and it's our thing. Do you know what I mean? Like we were rolling together at that point. He's looked at me, he's gone, no, like you're my MC, like, you know, you got to do it. It's no disrespect to no one else, you know what I mean? And I don't think he realised who was asking either. He just thought it was some random dude. And I'm like, oh mate, it's quite the position I'm in now. MC Long John and all his boys are there, and I'm 19 in Custard Factory, just trying to do my thing. Like, that was hairy. He didn't take it well.
No,
when I said no,
they don't.
No, it was quite aggressive.
Yeah.
Man,
Shadow Demon Crew. I wouldn't fight with them.
Exactly. I really was bricky at that point. I was like, oh god,
you'll turn into Alan Shearer very quickly.
And Ed's just DJing now. He's like, he's fucking, he's in it. Do you know what I mean? He's like smashing it, and I'm just like, and he's just looking at me like that. And I'm just like, oh mate.
I've had some ropey times in Birmingham at the Custard Factory. I had I was playing, and someone came up, and they were like, can I put a bag under there?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, of course. I mean, it's not my responsibility though. And he went, there's a 90 quid bottle of perfume in there. If anything happens to it, it's your fucking problem.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, cool. I don't know, I'm probably just 18 or something.
Yeah, see, this is the thing.
Terrified.
Do you know how much it's changed now? If someone did that to me now, said that to me, I'd be like, mate, I'll just pick up the bag and be like, there you go, bruv. On you go. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but it's funny how things change. Like, when you're young and you're new into it, you're just so wary of offending the wrong person and doing it. But after a while, you're like, no, that's not cool, man. Like, that's not okay. And until you start like standing your ground a bit and being aware that like, no, that's not acceptable behavior. Like, you know, that bag of perfume or whatever is not my responsibility. So just do one, bro. Do you know what I mean?
That was the icing on the cake as well. I have told this story before, and I'm proud to tell it again. Cool. But I also, on the journey up, slightly pooed my pants.
Physically or literally?
Literally.
Wow.
I was driving up and I was late. And I really needed a piss. I really needed both, but I was like, look, I'll just pull over the side of the motorway, do the piss. That'll probably tide me over. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, was at the side of the motorway doing the piss. Bit of poo came out.
Oh my god!
But there was nowhere to deal with it or anything. I was like, look, I'll just deal with it when I get into the club.
Was there no grass on the verge?
It was a busy motorway. It was roadworks. It was a disaster. I'm not talking about an inconsequential bit of poo either.
This is
just like a reasonable like I don't know, let's say half a Kinder Egg.
Wow.
Let's say a modern day Cadbury's cream egg.
Okay.
Yeah. No, maybe not that much. I'm
No,
some over
that's like going home territory.
The toy that comes in the Kinder Egg.
Okay.
Maybe not that much. Look, there was
A nugget.
A nugget.
A
Yeah,
nugget.
A nugget. And then the traffic was worse and worse and worse, and I managed to just get to the venue with like 3 minutes.
So you've got no time to
go to the
wash
toilet
up.
and sort it out.
Yeah.
Then mid-set, dude comes up with his bag of perfume. Like, I get shook.
Oh, so this was the same gig?
Same gig.
Wow, so that's
Yeah.
quite an eventful evening for you.
It's terrible. I was only getting paid £75. Promoter gave it to me. There was only 65 in there. I was too scared to question him.
Amazing.
The petrol was more than that. And then, after I'd finished, I was too shook. I was too scared.
You've had quite a stressful night.
I
You
was
just want it to be
stressful.
over. You're like, do you know what?
Yeah,
No
so
luck. You got no luck.
So
You're
I
just like-
left, and I just left immediately, went back to the car, and then it was a really long drive until I could find a service station.
Right.
Got to some poor BP, that's it, BP station.
Yeah.
And man, it's like a bomb had gone off in there.
Oh, man.
By that time,
But you did a whole
I did a whole set. Yeah,
Do you know what? Fair play, though. Props.
the show must go on,
Props, because I would be in the car home.
mate. It ain't pretty, but it's show.
I'd just go late. I'm late. Do you know what I mean? I remember one time I
Showbiz.
I can't match that. No way I can match that. But I messed up royally. I read the itinerary wrong one evening, right? And it was the Drum and Bass Awards. Ooh. I know.
Friction winning best newcomer again.
Well, this is when I was MCing for Sub Focus. Even worse now, you know. And I read it wrong by an hour, so I picked him up an hour late because I was like, I'll drive tonight because I just want to get home. Because me and it like to get home after gigs. We're quite like, let's just get home.
Cup of tea.
Yeah, that's it. You get home, you know.
Yeah.
So you take leaf out of your book, putting like bacon and eggs on the rider. You see, I heard about this.
Did I put bacon and eggs on it?
Apparently, is this a drum and bass rumor?
Really?
Yeah, apparently you used to put eggs, milk, and bacon on your rider so you could have a bacon and egg sandwich when you got home from the gig. This is a rumor that I've heard.
True
a
rumour?
genuine rumor that I've heard.
Wow. No, that's not true. That's fake news, I'm afraid. But
I'm disappointed now because I retell that story every now and
Really?
again.
Well, feel free to carry on with it.
Okay. Now you know what you need to do. You've got to add that to your rider.
I've had more ridiculous things than that on my rider.
I'm sure you
I
have.
had a cheese board
Wow.
with at least 2 local cheeses in the shape of a face.
How often did that get delivered?
About 3 or 4 times.
Really?
I went Australia every show.
Yeah, see, you travelled all
take
that
it.
way. He really needs his cheese board, guys.
It was a Ministry of Sound tour. They weren't fucking about.
No, you're going to get that face cheese.
They were like, oh, we laid it out in a face just like you like. And every show I was like, I'm so sorry. It was a joke. I never expected anyone to do it.
Did you eat some of the cheese at least?
Oh, I always ate the cheese.
Oh, that's
yeah,
good. So that's fine then.
cheese,
Do you know the problem is when, you know, the face thing's a bit of a diva. I'm not gonna lie. But the fact you ate some of the cheese, what I ate is these people that request this, that, and the third, and then they turn up and just don't touch it. And just...
Hey, I'm not going to name and shame because they're very big artists.
Okay.
But a recent show that I did, the headliners, their manager just came in backstage with a couple of bin bags.
Just took everything, yeah.
Just take everything.
Yeah.
There was a whole fridge full.
Yeah.
I just took the lot and just put it in the car.
See, we're nice. we give it to the artist liaison.
I mean, it's like if you're going to...
We like if there's like a
How
bottle
much
of
are you
spirits.
requesting? I mean, yeah, if it's
Well,
a bottle of
our
spirits.
rider is tiny. Like
Yeah.
we,
I mean, this was huge. It was like a whole fucking bar mitzvah.
No. Promoters to us, they say to us, they're like, especially when we go to America, they're like, "Where's the rest of the rider?" And we're like,
Oh,
"No, that's
right,
it."
really?
It's like I think it's a few beers, some water, and I think like a bottle of spirits if we want it, like on request or something.
Yeah.
If we don't drink it, we just help yourself to the artist liaison. It's like go and have a party. Like they've worked all day at a festival, and they're like, "Well, here's a bottle of vodka. Go and have a great time." Do you know what I mean? Because it's like they, you know, this thing we turn up, we breeze in there for an hour and a half, get treated like lords, and they've been there all day dealing with like DJs and other acts and their entourages and their messed up mates, and it's just like they deserve you know, they work a lot harder than sort of. You know, for that day, I think they're working hard.
Oh, for that day, yeah. I mean, obviously.
No, but I mean, DJs and producers, they're in the studio writing tunes, so that's it. But, you know, on that day, you know, we've driven down to like Cambridge, played a gig, and, you know, we don't really need to down a bottle of vodka to justify our night, you know?
I'm definitely not, these days, certainly not in the business of taking booze away with me after gigs.
No, I rarely do it. If near Christmas, I do it.
Okay, what for gifts and stuff?
No, not for gifts. More because I have a few Christmas parties. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah. It's
People
just
arrive at
worth
yours for a Christmas party and there's like 8 half-drunk bottles of JD.
it. Just me on the sofa asleep.
So everyone's had about 2 drinks out of it. It's like, what's going on with this, Chris? Where have you just have 2 sips and then have a new bottle? No, it's just all the old riders.
Don't worry about it. Got plenty more where that came from.
Loads of bags of crisps.
Yeah. Loads of Haribo.
Yeah.
Just mad Haribo.
Always at the
everywhere.
Haribo.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We don't request food. We should actually.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering, you was always sort of wonder how far you can push it, but with things that are quite reasonable, because like if you were a vegan, you're going to demand vegan food, aren't
That's fair
you?
enough, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Is it though? I
Well-
mean, if I'd like go, I'm carnivore, I only eat steak, get me some steak, demand it. Like,
Well, I mean,
is that going to be acceptable?
Do you know
They're
what
gonna
though?
call me a prick?
Do you know there's some
Both?
promoters though that I love, like the promoters that have been in it a long time. They get what they think you deserve. That's what I like. They're the best ones. Like there's a couple of promoters we play for, and they're just like, well, there's some drinks tokens and that's it. But I respect that. I'm like, you know what, like, because they're like, because you know them so well, because you played for them for 10 years. They're just like, man, I ain't getting you that. they'll happily tell you, and I'm like, I respect that.
I'll take drinks tokens are fine, because if I get a bottle of Jack, I have a bottle of Jack Daniels on my rider. If I get a bottle of Jack Daniels, it's a disaster.
So do you
always.
drink it all? Like, well,
I don't drink the entire, but obviously I share it with everyone that's there. But the problem is,
okay.
if there's a litre bottle of Jack Daniels there or something, like,
yeah,
it's not going to be good news the next day.
See, I don't. No, you'd be hungover, wouldn't you?
It's going to be a problem. But if I've, look, here's 5 drinks tokens.
See,
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's probably, for my health and sanity, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I have the odd beer at a gig. I don't get smashed anymore. I mean, I'm not as young as I used to be. So
No. I just don't play that many gigs anymore, so I don't have a chance.
Well, you've locked yourself in here, just broadcasting to the world.
I know, mine's, it's just a morning show, more coffees now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
that's
already
fine.
smashing the JD. Like,
Yeah. It's a weird thing though, isn't it? Like being an artist where you can request that there is booze ready for you when you arrive.
Yes.
And drugs, if you're like, it's the right promoter or whatever, or if you're that way inclined, you can go,
I didn't think that happened.
that happens.
But I'm not that savvy to that.
But you're not out there asking for drugs. Like,
No.
they're there if you want them.
True, right, okay.
that out there.
Yeah. I didn't think people would actively put it on their rider.
I don't think it's there explicitly in text. I think
Is
it's
it
more
like
if
code,
you know
like-
a promoter.
Yeah,
like,
you'll hit him up and be like,
Yeah.
yo, bruv, can you get me some stuff? Like,
look, if like back in the late noughties, if you were playing for bigger than Barry, or something, one of those sort of ones in Brum or somewhere,
Yeah.
like,
it's,
you could
okay.
inquire ahead.
Right.
Where was I going with it? It's like, what other professions are there out there that you can do this?
This is what I'm saying.
Like, if you're
yeah.
a doctor or something, or a lawyer, like, please make sure that there's my Jack Daniels.
Do you know what I mean?
is there.
Yeah. That is crazy. Like, you turn up
really
and there's just like a
weird.
crate of beers for you. Like,
Yeah.
it's like getting into your office in the morning and someone's going plonk. There you go.
Yeah.
You just start drinking.
It's like
beers
being
and
in
go.
Mad Men or something.
Yeah.
like, all over again.
Yeah. That's probably why there's so many like problems in the
It doesn't
industry.
help, does it?
No.
Like, it's,
Well, I think it enables a lot of people, doesn't it?
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, there's that thing. If you're being booked to play in front of hundreds or thousands of people, and you're supposed to be that party guy.
Yeah,
You know,
If you put that
particular
on
pe-
your social media, you've got to live up to that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Scream, like, you better be the party boy when you get there.
I know,
or people are going to be very disappointed.
Yeah. There were some days back then, weren't there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, when them two were together. Yeah. See, I don't know. I just can't get into that.
You're too sensible, Chris.
I'm not massively sensible, but I think because you're an MC, you can't be pissed because you're just going to go down the mic.
I would be a disaster.
You're just
I
slurring around
really
and,
quickly.
And the thing is, as well, if you're that drunk, you kind of lose control a bit, and you could say something really kind of like off key, like if someone annoys you, like at the rave, and you could just completely just go in on them without thinking. Do you know what I mean? So I ease off the bevs.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah.
I think I'm generally like I can DJ competently, really, really drunk.
Right.
Like, but it will.
I think most people
get
can,
very
yeah.
handsy with the mic when I'm pissed.
You see, yeah.
Yeah.
I get very shouty if I'm drunk.
Mate, that microphone's going to me too me.
Yeah.
Like that too much.
Just like there's a
Yeah. Terrible. But as if I can be, if there's someone keeping the mic away from me, that's fine. Like
that's what you need an MC for. When you're drunk.
Yeah, literally. It's more like a care worker, I guess, than
A carer.
Yeah, just someone who looks
Wipe your
after
bum
me.
for you in case you have another accident.
Hey, you never know. God, see, come on. They could get the audio out of the podcast. They could wipe my ass. Just...
Wow, that went full circle, didn't it?
That was a good callback. I'm impressed.
Amazing.
You were worried you weren't going to say anything funny.
Do you know what? I was real nervous about this.
That's a highlight of the show. There needs to be a drum and bass care home or something. I think we're all going to end up in there quickly. Didn't the Daily Mash write some sort of satirical article about a drum and bass care home? Care home for like elderly junglists or something.
Would be terrible. It's like, do you remember when you ever Father Ted, where they end up in a care home and you just play that jungle really?
Oh yeah, that one priest is cut. What is the tune? I feel like it's Aphrodite or something.
I thought it was Fire.
Oh, it might
Fire.
have been. Yeah.
Burn your place down.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you know what? I can't remember.
Man, Father Ted was so good. It's a shame that Graham Linehan, who wrote that, is now just this deranged madman on Twitter.
I don't know. See, I'm not. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, it's worth.
Did he star in it or
him.
just write it?
He wrote it.
Right. Okay. Where's Father Jack now? That's what I want to know.
He died a little while ago, like not long ago, maybe a couple of years. Obviously, Dermot Morgan died a long time ago, at least 10 years ago.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he was only in his 40s.
I know. Scary.
Yeah. And Ada O'Hanlon is still going, and the woman who played Mrs. Doyle just sort of wants nothing to do with the character anymore.
Well, she was such a caricature. I imagine she's like, just leave that alone.
That's it. Like when you play a sort of a character as like
well, it's that repetitive "do you want a cup of tea" thing, and so wherever
when
she
there's
goes,
a catchphrase like as well,
you're just
like,
gonna get called that down the street.
Yeah. But she was such a wonderful character. Like everyone sort of loved her so much, and like it was. I mean, how do
Mrs. Doyle, wasn't it?
Yeah. How do you go on to do anything after that? So, and I mean, the same sort of with Ada O'Hanlon, who played Dougal. Like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done other stuff afterwards, but like
nothing's hit like it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He's a stand-up now, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I think he always was.
Yes, he was actually. You're right.
But like, I mean, like, how do you compare anything to that? I mean, it's like, being in Monty Python or something and then going on to do something else. It's like you're always going to be so and so from Monty Python. It's just, but then I mean, then they had all the sketches and stuff in it, so that you would never so much typecast as one character.
Yeah, you did break it up with doing that, didn't you? Yeah. But even like when you watch some Michael Paydon travel stuff, it's still goes back to Monty Python.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love watching that stuff.
I don't think I've ever watched much of the travel bits and bobs. I'm not a big travel show, man.
No, do you not? See, because I travel a lot, I really enjoy it. Like,
really?
Michael Palin was really interesting. He does some really interesting trips, man. Like, he goes round just this kind of circle. He does like Russia, Japan, like all in this big circle. And because it's set so long ago in like the kind of late 80s, early 90s, there's some really interesting characters compared to like now viewing it in our times now. So you get that look back.
Is it really that old?
Some of them are.
Is it late 90s?
Yeah. I don't think you. Well, I know when you watch it, it looks old.
Yeah. I mean, stuff that wasn't even that long ago now looks super old. Like if I'm looking for something on Netflix and it says it was like a documentary, it's like from 2014 or something like that.
Yeah.
No way. No, I'm not watching
it.
that old school dog shit. No chance. It needs to be 2018 at the latest. Can't do it.
You done Making a Murderer?
Yeah. The second series, I just realised within half an hour of the first episode that I just didn't care.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of gripped me.
The second series?
Yeah, a bit. I mean, I found his lawyer quite annoying.
Yeah.
She's very intelligent, though, in the way she goes through it. But yeah, I agree. The first series was the one.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 episodes of that, I don't think I've ever seen more compelling television.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just crazy. Because, you know.
Yeah. He so did it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
I think he did it, but the police were sort of concerned that there was insufficient evidence, so they planted loads of shit.
Right, yeah. See, that's a fair point, actually. Because I just think the way that guy, that prosecutor in the first season, because he came out, he like sent like inappropriate texts to like women, didn't he?
Well, it doesn't mean that Matey's not guilty of the murder.
No, but
it's a side issue.
Yeah, but it's not cool.
The prosecutor's a scumbag. I don't know. Obviously it's not cool, but it's like that's a side issue to Matey's guilt, isn't it?
No, true. Yeah, I can't make up my mind, to be honest.
I think he did it. I think Michael Peterson in The Staircase, he done it. I think anyone they've made a documentary about, they did it.
Guilt, just straight guilt.
Otherwise he wouldn't be in prison.
No, that's a fair point. Twice he got in and then he got released. Then he went back in.
Yeah, like bloody Stephen Avery or whatever, because he killed and raped that first woman, didn't he? Did 18 years in prison, so he's got form.
Yeah. They like him for it. Yeah.
I don't know. No, it was because I knew that neither of them had been released. Like when they had the second series.
Yeah.
What I don't know. It wasn't compelling me. That An Innocent Man, seen that?
No, not seen that.
Not dissimilar. Only 4 or 5 episodes, I think.
Oh, is that the
Very
one?
Good.
Not the one where they put it starts with the guy outside the bank with the bomb around his neck.
No, that's good though.
Oh my god,
like that.
That was real.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't remember what that was called. Do you the Ted Bundy one?
Started it, fell asleep.
Same. Yeah, same. It really didn't get me.
Yeah.
I was just like, this guy's quite boring.
Yeah. The great thing about the sort of what are they calling it? A neck band or something? There's something killer. The guy with the thing around his neck and a bomb around his neck. The exciting thing about that is that it was a woman who did it.
Yeah.
It's the sort of
and it was
rarity of some of that sort of crazy, sadistic, mad murder.
It was like something out of Saw, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what got me. I was like, that takes effort to rig something like that.
Yeah,
up.
I mean that was an intense plan. There was.
But they're such rednecks when they're interviewing them. They're just all these redneck dudes. Like
the places they live. Like you need to go around their houses and it's just like the amount of stuff and insane wild shit.
That's
everywhere.
why they do it. Just a bit bored. There's nothing to do around there.
They've got so much space and these enormous properties with barns and barns full of complete crap.
Yeah.
Where do they get it all from? What's going on? Late stage capitalism is a disaster. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Right, look, Chris. I think we've done about 2 hours now.
That is, yeah.
I'm getting that. We've
run out of beers.
We have run. That's the main problem. I think
this is the main problem.
Yeah. Right to the pub.
Yeah, I'm up for.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Apologies for the audio at the bottom. I will take the proper recorded audio and sandwich it over the top of the video and put it back up later. It'll be absolutely fine. If you want to get this whole thing as a podcast, it will be on the Rankin And Friends podcast by latest tomorrow morning. Go to your podcast app of choice.
Amazing.
Search for Rankin And Friends, and that shit will come right up. Chris, thank you for coming up.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right. See you soon.